Hello, I'm Ben Ferrandy, and I'm going just here to talk about the two-party system and basically what I find wrong with it at the moment. All right. My main issue at the moment with the two-party system is not the fact that we just have two parties. That I'll get into that in a sec. That is my issue, but my main issue is the fact that the two-party system is actively trying to disclude any other candidates from third parties from being in the debates or being allowed to be on the vote. And let me just say what I think why. Both Obama and Romney and the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, in my opinion, are bought out by corporations. Now, before I get reamed for this, I just want to say that the Democrat and Republican individual senators, for example, they might not be corrupt. They might be genuine, trying to help their communities. And Obama and Romney might be trying genuinely to what they feel will help America, will get jobs and stuff. But the point is the fact that Obama and Romney are both completely bought out by super PACs. And before you say why, if it goes against some of their policies, just listen to this. Obama and Romney are funded by these big corporations, these super PACs. Um, so are really Democrat and Republican parties to a degree. They get money through them. So and they get funded behind closed doors. We don't know what deals are signed. If I'm head of a massive you know monopoly business, controlling everything, I might tell Obama, Romney, whoever I lean to, whoever I support, whether more conservative or liberal, I might tell them, I will give you a shit ton of money and I will help advertise. You will have my support, but in return, you will make laws that favor me, and you will, you know, have your support in my corner if you get elected. And that's completely wrong. That I think that's kind of screwed up. But I really that's what's happening now. And it's kind of because the Democrat and Republican parties are aligned with the corporations to maintain their own power. I'm not saying this in a conspiracy theorist way. I'm being honest. It's blatantly true at this point. The parties themselves want to maintain their own power. I'm not saying individuals within them don't care about the ordinary needs of people like me and you, but honestly, they really do exist at this point, basically to promote themselves, to keep themselves in power, because they're making money, a lot of money, and by getting bought out by corporations, these politicians get rich, and by making laws in favor of them, the people who run it, the CEOs, they get richer, So it's a win-win for the politician and the businessman who's in charge of the CEO of the company. But I think that what's going on is really, really bad. And I don't agree with that. George Washington was against this really strict right-left. Well, he didn't use those terms, obviously, but this really strict partisan politics. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. That's it. You know, and really, I think third-party politicians should be allowed in the debates. Now, everyone says no one knows about them. Who the hell wants, for example, Gary Johnson in the debate? Well, first of all, a lot of people. He's polling really well, and this is after not great, nowhere near Obama and Romney, nowhere near, but better than a lot of third-party candidates have in the past, like 2 elections. And and this is after, as a Republican, maybe because he was too libertarian, he was excluded from debates, even though he pulled higher initially, definitely not later on, but initially, than John Huntsman or Herman Cain, who were both allowed to debate. Maybe they thought this guy leans too libertarian on social issues, even though he's really more conservative than most of these candidates on physical issues and foreign policy. I guess what's conservative about debated. So basically they screw him over. He becomes a libertarian, gets a pretty good chunk of support, more than you'd imagine, and still no television ads come out really for him, and that's not his fault. The fact that not a lot of people know about Gary Johnson, well, a decent enough, but nowhere near Obama and Romney, is because he's not funded by a huge super PAC. He's not funded by a corporation. He's funded by donations. While he might spend $1 million in 6 months on a campaign, Obama and Romney are being pumped, millions upon millions of dollars to fund their campaign. They're going to have television ads galore. They're going to everywhere. People are going to, know about these guys. And then come the debates. Some people say a third-party candidate shouldn't debate unless they get 15% prior to that debate. Here's the problem with that. If I don't get to debate, no one's going to know my political views. So I disagree with that. I'm aware. I don't think a fringe loony, someone who's getting 0.1% of the vote, should be allowed to debate. I mean that's so. But really, Gary Johnson is getting 4, 5, 6, 7% in a lot of states, and the fact that he's being excluded, it's really un-American. It's really the corporations funding these candidates and the parties themselves. They really want to keep this power vacuum going. They don't want Johnson to come in there. Imagine if he were president, these corporations would not have someone who's bought out. They'd have someone who's going to act how he feels best for the country, not in the interest of these corporations. The Republican Democratic parties, I don't know, they'd be probably borderline depressed. The fact that they lost power, it would be a shock. It would be like a punch to the gut, and they don't want Johnson in there. So there's this stupid rule. When Ross Perot ran for president, he was initially. He got to debate and he got almost 19% of the vote. 19% is huge. It's unheard of since Teddy Roosevelt, who was already really prominent when he started the Bull Moose Party, or whatever the real name was for it. When Ross Perot ran this under the Reform Party, I think he started. He got 19% of the vote after the debate. He went from not really in the American mind to scoring nearly, a huge amount for a third party candidate. That's huge. I think Gary Johnson, if he was allowed in the debate, would probably score in a similar area, probably 15 to 25% of the national vote. But no, they won't let that happen. They saw Perot take a lot of votes in the Democratic and Republican candidates, and the corporations were like, oh shit, if we allow people to debate, no, things are gonna. This person might actually take a large chunk of vote. They could, even maybe win. They could take people away from just being a Democrat or Republican and just mindlessly stamping into the system. And that scared them. And so they made this 15% barrier, which is going to be impossible for a third-party candidate to really do. Because no one knows about them beforehand. How can they get 50? They could probably get 15% after they debated, but prior to the debate, no, they can't. But anyways, another issue with the two-party system, the main problem is that it forced a country with 320 million people. I'm not exactly sure, but to divide themselves along such huge blocks, and that's really my big issue with it. If I'm a Democrat with conservative leanings, there's no party for me. I'll just probably vote Democrat. And same if I'm a Republican, there's no party that caters to my interest. I'm forced to align myself on somebody who I guess is better. That's really the thing with Obama and Romney. People see one as the lesser of two evils, and that really is un-American to me to vote for somebody you view as not Satan. We've got like Satan in one corner, and we've got some guy I think is kind of retarded in the other. I'm going to vote for the retard, and that's really how a lot of politicians. That's really how people see it these days, voting for the alternative, the lesser of the two evils, but both are still evil. It's like. And that's sad. That's sad, and I think it's really not what America's about. But I don't know. I mean, I'm making this video just as a way to express my views and my annoyance at the system because I feel that a third party would do America a lot of good. It might shake the power of our nations, but so what? I mean, really, America, we're not going to allow this. We're not going. We're just going to keep going until the country, someday, when the world conquers space, whatever. We have a giant super government. Until that day, America's just going to be stuck between two bought-out parties. No, no. I think the people do not want this anymore. They don't want it. It's clear. Politicians don't care. They avoid the question of why, third parties. They just want to stick, and promote themselves, their party, get rich, help get the corporations get rich. And I'm not sounding like a loony. I'm not the kind of guy who goes, politicians all suck. I hate apathy in my generation. I hate how my generation is so apathetic towards politics because it's stupid. They bitch about laws banning, marijuana. Well, guess what? Gary Johnson will legalize marijuana, but you're too ignorant to even know about him to do anything. But what I am saying is that I do really believe all the current Democratic and Republican politicians really are looking out for their own interests and the interests of the people who bought them. Third, the American people. And again, maybe they wish 3 was number 1, but it's really not at this point. And I just wanted to voice my opinion on this and to let people know that for those who say third party spoils the vote, if everyone who woke up on election and said, "Man, I wish Gary Johnson would win," and they actually voted for him, he could maybe actually win. Not well, he'd get a hell of a lot of a vote. But no, everyone just says, no, he has no chance. I'll vote for the lesser of two evils, and that's keeping the country the way it is. It's very stagnant. It's politically stagnant. Anyways, thank you.